Okay, so your 2 dozen a day exercises were absolutely fine. If you turn the page, I'm going to suggest we leave cartwheels for the moment because it's a bit difficult to explain it over Zoom, I think. So I'm going to look at the one at the bottom of the page, touching toes. Now you have seen these chords before. So the right hand is just a straightforward C chord and the left hand. I'm just going to look at the chords first and not the octave jumps in between, so just the chords themselves. Okay, the next chord, which is C, F and A, you use the fingering that you use when you do your broken chord. So it's 5, 2, 1 in the left hand and 5, 3, 1 in the right hand. Okay, I can tell that by the shape of the chord because I've got a third at the top of the chord in both hands, and the distance between the the bottom 2 notes is 4 notes apart. So I know that's 3 in the right hand and 2 in the left hand. Okay, it's not based on a C major broken chord, which I know you have done. Okay, but if you go through the C major broken chord, when you get to the 3rd chord along, you've got this same distance of the notes as you've got in this chord here, although the notes are different on the piano. You've got 4 notes between those 2 and then a 3rd or 3 notes between the top 2. So I know that's how I finger that position. So although that is the C major one, this one is actually in F major broken chord. All right, but the distance is the same, so the pattern is the same, so I use the same fingering. The left hand similarly as well. If I do a C major broken chord, when I get to the 3rd position, which is 4 notes apart and 3 notes apart, I know I use 5, 2 and 1. So in this 2nd chord here, although it's not G, C and E, it's C, F and A. The distance or the pattern of the notes, the way they're spread apart, is exactly the same. So I use that same common fingering. All right, so back to the 1st chord, the basic 3-note triad chord, we call it. Then make sure you're using the correct fingering for the next chord. Bar 2 comes back again to your triad chord. Okay, now this one, okay, you need to use 5, 4, 2 and 1 in the left hand, 1, 2, 4 and 5 in the right hand. Try to bend your fingers as much as possible, because that's quite a cluster of notes to get your hands to press there. Then you're coming back to your C triad chord, then back to the cluster chord there, and then back to the triad chord. So you could do it hand separately. Okay, and the left hand. So it's important that you're selecting the right finger combinations to fit the pattern of the chord. All right, and they're all common chords that recur again and again in piano music, so we tend to use the same patterns of fingerings from the majority of them. All right, so it's getting the hand to change the shape and the combination of the fingers that you're using. Now in between those chords, you've got these sort of dotted lines here. That's just showing, that's just showing that you're moving down the keyboard to the octave C, then back up again, find the next chord, down to the octave C, and bar 2, down to the octave C, and then that cluster chord. Now this time you're going down to an octave G, so 2 Gs, back to the C chord again, and down to C, then the cluster chord, and down to G this time, and then back to your C chord, down the octave to C, and you stay on the same 2 Cs, 2